do you define as deeper?
Ooh, more vulnerability.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, is the invitation, and I'm also happy to continue. I'd love to dive into just the conceptualizations of, and then like practical ways to practice shadow work and inner child work too. I'm open to that. Yeah, I'm open to what feels good for you.
Yeah. Yeah, if you gave me, I have no problem being more vulnerable. I think I just need more of a prompt. So like if we went with inner child healing, I can very easily go into what has been coming up for me recently and going into this partnership and some of the parts work that I've kind of have discovered, you know, because of that.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I'm sure you're not alone.
Yeah, so I can speak to, like the things that have come up in partnership and how I do my shadow work, which is, the personification of those parts of me. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot there.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Please. I can make it official. Ksandra, what's been coming up for you as you've entered into this relationship with he who may not be named, but maybe,
right? His name is Brett. We can say his name. Yeah, he'll be okay with that. Yeah.
Every time I hear the name Brett, which is like rarely, in the context though of like a romantic relationship. Did you watch Full House when you were
not very often?
It was one of the few, like, we only had public television when I was a kid, and Full House, somehow we got like burned DVDs with like seasons 1 and 2, and I got hooked, and we kept buying. So my parents still own all of the Full House seasons on DVD. And it's in one of the earlier seasons. DJ comes home, the oldest of the daughters, and she's really, she's crushing on this guy. I think DJ comes home and she's crushing on a kid named Brett.
Oh, that's funny.
And Stephanie's the younger sister, one of the younger sisters, is making fun of her, making fun of how much she's mooning over this kid, Brett. And so she turns it into a heartbeat. Brett, 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 Brett. And so every time I hear Brett in the context of romanticism, I'm like, Brett, 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 Brett.
I actually had never heard the name Brett until I met Brett.
What?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I know, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So what wants to come in? There's so much with this. I think the first story that comes in is I was actually 15 years old. I thought I was 17, but now that I'm dropping in, I've been asking for this since I was 15. I remember seeing, like, I was in high school, and I remember seeing like a lot of my friends starting to have like boyfriends, right? And it was really funny because like anytime a boy talked to me or wanted to go to the movies or something, I always became very anxious, right? And I think it's almost too like whatever scenario I was young, I could still feel like I was too young for it, or it was just something that wasn't really aligned for me. But I remember coming home one day and I literally was on my hands and knees and I was like, God, just please just send me someone. And then I remember, and it wasn't until probably a few years ago that I realized the magnitude of like the power of our words and how we cast spells. And I remember saying, I don't care if he only half loves me. Ooh. I'll make it work. Yeah. I casted that spell. I said that out loud in a prayer when I was 15. And it's when I reflect now as an adult of what that statement, the culmination of that statement meant. You know, up until that time, there had already been a lot of stuff around like abandonment issues and misunderstandings of love. I had somewhat of a how do I want to call it? Sexual assault when I was younger. So my confusion around sex and love and belonging. I had always felt that I didn't really like belong in my family, and they never did anything to make me feel that way. I don't know. I just remember from a very young age that I had this feeling of like, I'm alone in this world and I have to figure out how to be alone in this world. And I just always felt, even when my parents encouraged me to like, come and sit with the family, come have dinner with the family, I always just felt like, no, I need to go isolate myself. I'm better off alone. So there's a lot that had come up. And so by the time I'm 15 and I'm seeing all my friends pairing off and it's not working out for me, I'm thinking that something's wrong with me, that I've done something wrong, and that I need to make this prayer. I need to make this proclamation. And I have been married once. We were together for 12 years, and it was a very beautiful marriage, and we had a very loving divorce, and still are good friends to this day. So besides my marriage and now going into this partnership, this is now my 6th like serious relationship, right? And up until this individual, in all my past experience and romantic relationships, only half of me has been able to be loved, right? So with my ex-husband, as great of a relationship as we had, he was what I would call a very good human partner. You know, we did life really good. You know, we did life like our business together, traveling together, you know, like we did life itself really good. And that worked for a long time until I started to develop more in my intuitive and spiritual and energetic gifts. And I discovered this whole other half of me that I didn't even know existed. And we couldn't match up, right? And so one of the few reasons why we decided to divorce was that I went to him and I was like, you know, we had started doing polyamory because I literally was missing half of something. And I didn't know that until later, you know? And so I had started dating someone who was able to see that other half, right? Someone who was able to see my soul and also connect with his soul, and we could be intimate and have life experiences on that energetic soul connection, right? And so when I came to my husband at the time, and I was like, hey, like, this is why I'm with this person, we realized that wasn't going to match up for us. So it has always been like this interesting struggle with only being half loved, and therefore also only being able to show up halfway, right, in the relationship. So now I'm in this relationship, and so what happened is, I stepped away from dating for a little bit in between these other partnerships, and I realized that what was really important is to cultivate a sacred union within myself. It like really is a thing. And when I first heard of it, I was like, this is bullcrap, and I don't know about this, and maybe I even thought, oh, maybe this was a little too woo-woo, and I've already been woo-woo for like over 15 years, and I still was like, I don't know about this. But in doing that, I'm realizing that there were still parts of me that I knew, but I wouldn't let my partner see. I got to the point where now I know myself more deeply, but now I'm only allowing myself to be half loved. Right? And so I go into this partnership with this man who has a very deep sacred union within himself. And all of a sudden, all my shadow parts are coming up. All of them. And all my, what I would call like my core wounds, you know, my fear of abandonment, my fear of not being loved, my fear of not being good enough. And then in there comes up some of the shadow parts, which, by the way, I give them all names. And so one of them is like pouty Patty, the part of me that hates it when I don't get my way, or I don't, like, in this moment, I want you to do this now in this moment. And so there's a level of poutiness it's not just cute and endearing. It's kind of like angry and entitled, you know. It's like this very deep kind of reactivity that I have, right? And then I get this part of me that sometimes just feels completely inadequate. Like, what can you possibly see in me? Like, what can I possibly have to offer you? You know, there's nothing that I could offer you, you know? And then I have this other part that I call Jack, which is literally from the character from The Incredibles, that one little thing, and all of a sudden, in a matter of seconds, I'm going from on fire to metal to multiplying into different, parts of me. It's just kind of like this very reactive, intense, in your face kind of thing. And I've never had so many parts show up all at once in a short amount of span of time. I usually have more opportunity in a relationship to, like, over time let these parts come out. But because this relationship is meant to be, and what I've now been asking, the new spell that I cast is that I allow myself to be loved completely and wholly. Well, in order for that to happen, I need to show all my parts. I need to show up with all of them and be like, here, honey, here's my entire family. You know, that's what is needed so that we can meet each other in that, and in a space of love and respect and healthy boundaries and conscious communication, both navigate, because he has his own parts as well, right? He's not perfect. But, like, you know, it does take the two of us showing up completely. Like, here are all parts of me, and not from a place of, I'm going to take this out on you. Like, you have to love Jack. And the way that I force that is that I constantly throw anger at him, right? Or you have to put up with pouty Patty, and so therefore you need to give me what I want. So it's not about, like, me dumping all of my parts onto him. But it's saying, like, here, this is all of me. This is how sometimes I react. This is how sometimes I have a trigger. And so in that, I'm, like, basically showing him my prized possessions. You know, these parts of me that are so tender still, that I'm still trying to navigate, and I want to cry, that I'm still learning how to love and accept. Because, like, sometimes pouty Patty comes up in the most inconvenient time, and I'm like, can you please just stop? Can you just stop for a second? You know, like, the adult rational mind is like, I just need to get through this task right now, and I can't deal with you right now. So I still have, like, those moments, you know, and it is being in a relationship that is like this, right? That is bringing it so intensely to the surface. And again, it's like those pivotal moments of, like, can I take a breath? And instead of reacting, can I choose to respond in a different way, right? And then learning how to repair within myself, of going back to pouty Patty and being like, hey, I'm really sorry that I did that. You know, I know that you're just trying to help out. And so that's where the gentle reparenting happens. And then once I have that, now I can go to my partner and be like, yeah, so, you know, pouty Patty was here, and, you know, I apologize for how I reacted. This is the place that I'm coming from. Like, when A and B was done, I reacted this way. And so I have a curiosity of what was, so it allows for more of, like, I'm showing you who I am, but from a place that I'm taking ownership and responsibility of that. I'm going and regulating myself. And if I do desire to have him hold space and help me regulate, that I'm not dumping on him as a responsibility, right? Like I'm saying, like, I would really like a hug right now, you know, and if he's not available for that hug, that's okay, you know, but I can still hold myself in that. So yeah, there's this, basically there's there's like a bright light just shining on all the shadows, and this relationship will just not succeed if I refuse to not share all aspects of me.
With the bright light called Brett. Brett.
Yes.
Brett.
Yes.
Brett.
Yes. And for me to do the same for him, and for him to also have the willingness to show up in his full vulnerability, and then for me to hold that also with a tender heart, and to grow in that space. But yeah, like this whole idea of like inner child healing and shadow work, I mean, talk about that book was a pivotal thing for me. Doing this piece, these tools has also been the most pivotal piece ever. And it is something that's going to continue going on, you know, forever and ever and ever, you know, because even as I integrate those parts of me and allow those parts to grow, it just gives the opportunity for the others that are still, you know,
lingering
there to come to the surface.
I'm hearing 2 keys.
Okay.
Safety and personal responsibility.
Yes.
I'm hearing that those children in you, those child aspects of yourself, feel safe, both with you as the reparent and with Brett as your partner to make themselves known. And I'm hearing, and then that safety is partially due to, and then the growth coming in is certainly due to your ability and willingness to know, accept, and claim responsibility for those child aspects in the relationship. And I saw a meme the other day that pointed out the obvious truth, and for so long this was not obvious to me in an embodied way, that it doesn't do any good to have this story of, I'm going to become all I can be, I'm going to learn to love myself and self-actualize, and then I will attract my perfect partner, my person. That's never going to happen, because we all are always going to have a growing edge, triggers, unintegrated parts of ourselves. And really the meat, or the fruit, the vegetables, whatever you want to think of it as, of that unfolding of those tender parts of ourselves, of those unintegrated parts of ourselves, come to light through the light that another person brings us in close relationship. Relationships are where the work is at, and there is a relationship with ourself that is necessary to develop in order to dive any deeper into a relationship with another human. And the expansion and dimensionality, I'm gonna make up that word if that's not a word, the difference in the dimensions between doing that self-related to self-work and self-related to other work.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. It's a whole different style of evolving.
Mm-hmm.
It's a like, whole.
What just came to me, a whole different ball game. It's like the difference between practicing baseball with your team during practice and then going to have a game.
Yes.
It is literally that. Like
that's
the
really good
the practice is important. Yes, it's crucial, it's necessary, it's fundamental. You can't do well in the game if you don't practice. And it is almost inconsequential compared to the results of the game.
Yeah.
If I'm only ever doing work with myself, and then I show up in relationship with other humans, and my experience in my relationship with other humans doesn't reflect my experience in my relationship with myself.
Yeah.
That is a big flag.
It is.
It can be really whatever color you want, but it's waving.
Yeah.
Meaning and I went through periods like this where I would sit at home or be in my own space and be like, life is awesome and I love myself and I'm happy and like, look at me doing these things I want to do. And then I'd go out and like actually be in relationship with other people and I'm like, you suck and everyone sucks and why can't you be more like me? And really that's what I figured out a lot of it was coming down to was I had gotten so into myself, not only with feelings of self-love, but also rejection and self-hate, that I would then go into relationship with other people, and instead of having the presence to be with them, I was unconsciously projecting this idea of, don't you know that you're like this?
Yes.
When really it was, that's how I am.
Yeah. Oh yeah. For sure. Yeah, really, being in relation and connection with others really is the next, like, I'm hearing like the next step for graduation, you know, but I mean, it also is a big feat for someone to be alone with themselves, for sure. And like you were saying, it's like, the practice is important, like cultivating a relationship with ourselves is so fundamental. Like if I don't have that with myself, then when I go with others, I can't to practice what I've been practicing, right? It will continue to be reactivity. It will continue to be projections, you know, and
I like to say if I don't give time to sitting alone with myself, and so that I can see whatever stories, whatever illusions, whatever projections I'm walking around with, like what my filter is.
Yeah.
If I don't take the time to look at my filter without like looking at something beyond my filter, right?
Yeah.
Like if I don't take time to just look at the filter in front of my lens, I have no idea what my entire experience is being filtered through on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
Conversely, when I give myself that time to figure out what is my perspective filtering through, I can then dissolve the parts that aren't serving me. I can allow the parts that would like to change, shift, move to do that. I can create new parts that serve me. I can plant new plants in my garden.
Yeah. And I think the other piece too is like, you know, we go out and we have interactions with other individuals, but then it's also what is the story and the reflection that we do based on those interactions, right? So right before I started dating Brett, I was in a relationship that I never thought I would experience, which was a heavily toxic trauma response from both of us, from totally both of us, right? And in leaving that relationship, I could have gone into the narrative of like completely blaming him or completely blaming the scenario in the relationship and not giving myself the opportunity to reflect and really sit down and be like, okay, and I did give myself that opportunity because I do think it's important to validate, like, that was hard and that really sucked. And yes, there was a lot of things that individual did that is not healthy or acceptable. So it's not like condoning someone's behavior, right? Or saying that someone's behavior is acceptable and okay. But at the same time, if I just stayed with that lens, right, with that perspective, I would miss out on the reflection that's also there. That the gifts and the lessons for me that are also there, right? And what's funny is now being in this new relationship, there are parts of me that like I would complain about my ex-partner. I have similar parts.
Yeah.
Maybe not to the intensity, right? But I was like, ooh, the way I'm acting and feeling right now is how so-and-so used to react. And so it's like kind of like this ouch, like, oh crap, I'm acting, okay, that makes sense. So I already kind of knew that when I separated from the relationship and sat with myself and conceptualized it. But then when I go back into relationship and they actually start coming up, because I took the time to self-reflect and to be curious of like, ooh, like, how did I also show up in this space? And like, what are lessons for me? Now that I'm in the new relationship, I can see that, and then I can approach those things now with like love and compassion and shifting them. And, so I think it's also important how we choose to perceive and tell the story after we've had interactions with people. Because if we just complain about the person or just blame the other person for the scenario, I think we miss out a lot, in our growth and our healing.
Yeah, there's always a magnetism. There's always a mutual magnetism. If anything that's in our lives is reflecting on us somehow, any place we feel charged, in particular, is reflecting for us a part of us that wants our attention. What's coming through is this line of thought that I've been chuckling at lately. All these different parts about Brandon that I'm like, oh, I used to think I was really this, and then I met him. And the first one is like, I used to think I was patient, and then I met Brandon. and really, he is. I'm just like, wow, like I feel so much more impatient than you. Like, I used to think I was patient. And there are other lighter sides I could name, and wow, I used to think I was critical. Like now that I met Brandon. And likewise other darker parts, other shadows I could, and really all that just lets me observe more.
Correct.
Sink back, notice through my eyes how those parts of him affect me, affect him, affect our experiences with the world. And it just makes it so much, I just feel so much lighter. Like noticing. Just, and it's I feel amazed, like in awe of the lack of reactivity I have in my relationship with him on like more high level things. And there's when I'm reactive to him, I'm really reactive. Like really reactive. Like being possessed. Level reactive. And that's when I get to see the depth of his patience.
Correct.
That's when I get to see the depth of this love and this and reprogramming the thought pattern in my mind that pushes those parts away. Because who could love those parts? And then you're still here? Like, wait, like, wait, you still want to be with me?
Yeah.
And then he's like, yeah, nobody's perfect. And I'm like, stop! It's not that simple!
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. And I've noticed that in that space, what it allows me now to do is like, those parts of me, once they receive that love, actually then have a desire to grow up and integrate.
Yes.
And like feel safe to do that, right? So it's not just like, oh, I get to be however I want no matter what, and someone's going to love me and that's the expectation. It's deeper than that, right? It's more about like, no, like you deserve to be loved. Like that is a simple fact. All parts of you deserve to be loved, and part of the human experience is to grow and evolve and mature. It's not for us to just stay in that space. Those parts of us want to grow. Those parts of us want to be integrated.
And they've been stagnant for feeling trapped in, I'm not loved, I'm not worthy.
Yes. Yeah. And so once we give that to them, and then once we allow ourselves to be vulnerable in relationship and they get that, now there's like this liberation that can happen. They can go out of the program of I'm not, the loop of the programming of I'm not lovable, and now they're free to actually grow up, to actually integrate, to like bring that wisdom now into a more conscious interaction, right? And not because they have to go away, not because they're wrong or anything, not because they'll never be allowed to show up again, but it's just a completely co-creative life experience that we get to have with those parts of ourselves. You know,
that is alchemy. Yes. That is transmutation.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good stuff.
It's so good. I went to the Wolf Cafe earlier today, and I had a cacao alchemy. And I was like,
is that why you're all alchemical over here?
Yeah. It's like, it's like, I just love that that's the name of a drink at your place. Yes. Yeah. I feel every spiritual path is a variation of alchemy.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're 8 minutes till your hard stop.
Nice.
What do you want to share?
I think there's a part of me that kind of wants to maybe like recap some things and give like a final closing message. It's what wants to come through. What comes to mind right now is in my study of Tantra, which is a big umbrellic term and a lifestyle and practices, and there's subcategories. But one of the things that just really penetrated my beingness is the belief in Tantra that all parts of us are sacred and all parts of us are welcomed. And for me, how that lands, that we were just speaking about alchemy, is when like the role that I think that is the muscle we want to practice is being the witness, which allows us to be the alchemist in our lives. And just like an alchemist who has this pantry of all of these ingredients, the alchemist does not say this is a good ingredient, that is a bad ingredient. The alchemist sees the value and the importance of all ingredients, which are our emotions, our programs, our stories, our thoughts, our characteristics, everything. These are all just ingredients that exist in this pantry. And as the witness and the alchemist, how we start to master being co-creators of our lives and learning this is that we first shift our perspective to that all parts of me are sacred and all parts of me are welcomed and all parts of me are important. And as the witness and the alchemist, as I cultivate a deep relationship with myself, as I take time to take a breath and in this moment maybe have the willingness to do something different, right? To maybe respond instead of react. To take the time that even if I did react, how can I go back and repair? Like it's taking all of those those moments, and it's where we learn how to bring a dash of this and a dash of that together. So here's a life experience. Here's a style of relationship and partnership I want to have. Here's the type of internal dialogue I want to have. Here's the relationship with my mother I want to have. Here's the type of legacy that I want to leave on in this world, right? And so in order to create and cast those alchemies, all of us is important, and we get to really pick and choose what that is. And it really is a perspective shift. Like in the beginning of my practice, the phrase that just kept coming up is, your perspective is your key to your freedom. I mean, that just kept coming in over and over and over again, right? And so in my whole journey now, and the journey that I will continue, because I'm not at the end of the journey yet.
Stop ruining my illusion.
Sorry. Not sorry.
Yes.
In that whole process, anytime I'm feeling like so much internal conflict or tension, the very first thing I do is I breathe and I'm like, okay, maybe this is a call for a different perspective. Maybe this is a call for a pivot in my current perception, right? And anyone can say it in any way. This doesn't have to be spiritual or religious or anything. But the phrase that I use is I pause for a moment when I'm feeling that overwhelmed, or I'm feeling like I can't get out of the reaction, right? Or I'm over-identifying with the emotion. I take a breath and I say, okay, God, source, creator, apparently in this moment, I am viewing this experience or myself in a way other than the way you are viewing it.
Oh, yes.
And so therefore, I have a willingness to view it from your perspective. And I have an open heart to release, to surrender, to sacrifice whatever I need to view this situation and myself from your perspective. Wow. And sometimes it's instantaneous, the shift that happens. Other times it's a few hours or a few days. But that right there, that shift back into I'm the alchemist. I am the witness. My power is being the witness of this and knowing and understanding that my perspective is what's going to shift everything. Everything just, you go back into that archetype and you go back into that space. You know, and again, I do not believe that the goal is to never be triggered and to always be in that space. I think it's important for us to be triggered and be in those spaces, because that adds more ingredients to our, you know, it just adds more.
Yes.
Because if you don't have that new thing, right, then how are you going to create the next bigger thing that needed that ingredient? And we don't know what that ingredient is. We just don't know. So, yeah. That's just the message that I want to leave in the end.
So good.
Yay!
It's so good. You paint such beautiful pictures.
Thank you.
Wrapping up.
Yes.
This episode, I'm sitting with Ksandra Roehr. For those of you who maybe just tuned into this second episode with hers truly, yours truly, something words. You can find out more of Ksandra's story on the episode just previous to this. And if you want to connect with Ksandra, find out more about her shamanic tantric containers, offerings, ceremonies, you can look up Ksandra, Ksandra, Roehr, Roehr, on Instagram and Facebook. And you can also go to Hear, Hear, Hear Me Roar, her last name, .com. You can send her a text to the phone number on the website. Don't call, text, please. We will provide all of those links in the show notes here. Ksandra will be in St. Louis for almost exactly 2 more months, and then moving to Atlanta, Georgia. She does offer services via Zoom. So that's on the table if you don't live in St. Louis or Atlanta. Yeah.
Or you can fly me to you.
You can fly her.
You can call that in. Fly me to you. So I am a yes to that.
I'm imagining like clients in Bali, Costa Rica. Yes. Wherever you want to go.
Wherever you want to go. And I'm happy to help co-facilitate and lead rituals and ceremonies. You know, do a lot of ceremonial work too, with smaller groups. So, yeah, you can fly me in, or I can drive in.
Yes, so good, so good.
Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. Oh my gosh, so welcome. My honor, truly. So good. Yes. So good. So good. If anyone is like a 10th as inspired by you as I am, they'll be like knocking down your door, even if you move to the South Pole. So get ready.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. I will receive that. Thank you very much.
Oh, so good. So good. Yes, until next time, many, many, many blessings and so much love. So good.